All right,
Okay,
friends,
I'm still waking up.
we begin this week's episode of the Adventures of the Redbane Guild. Outside of the next door, having just defeated two of these vine keeper creatures on the narrow bridge between the steam vents. And Bew heroically ganked them
Battle
both
hogged.
off the edge.
Yeet.
Yeet. Very nice. So, that is where we begin. What do you do after
uh,
resting?
did we look at the door? Yeah, there was a keyhole, right?
There is a keyhole, indeed, same size of the small key.
Done with it.
Excuse me. Yeah, I will. I believe I have the key. And I'll pull out both the large and the small, just in case we need. So I don't have to dig back into the bag.
And this is where you currently are, of course, camped out right there. And if you, as you insert the key, it goes back in as it does, and the door parts open, and the key ejects, and you can take it and you take it back out. And as you step in inside of this new chamber, ahead of you, you see there's a hallway beyond the door, and in here, the air kind of hits you. It feels more damp, and you get the scent of moss and plants, living creatures. There's still the prominent decay and mold about mold-like features of the previous chambers, the bioluminescent mushrooms and those yellow tree-like fungi that grow from floor to ceiling. There are all around also is a type of plant that looks to be some sort of ivy, uh, greenish, growing upon the walls in spidery patterns. You see snails of many different sizes crawling upon the sides of the walls and even up on the ceiling. And a few slugs go here and there upon the floor, leaving their slime trails.
I want to take my bow staff and poke one of the snails.
One of the snails on the wall.
Yeah, I want to poke it. Are they like decently big or are they just kind of small?
Uh, there, some of them are regular size, just tiny snails. The biggest of them might get about yay big.
Yeah, one of those. One of those.
Do you like slap it real hard?
No, no, no. I just want to poke it enough so it like defenses up.
Yeah. So you get your staff up there at one of them, poke, poke, and you see it kind of retract into its shell, but it stays solid, fixed to the wall, but its soft flesh part goes back up inside of its shell.
Oh, what about the slugs? Are the slugs big too?
Most of the slugs are small.
Uh, I was hoping to get like the defensive slime that slugs excrete, but a lot of it so I could smear it on Worth.
Yeah, all that you see right now are pretty regular sized garden variety, at least garden variety sized slugs.
Till we find the queen or the emperor of the dire slugs.
Oh, don't say those words, Carrie. Don't put this great evil on us.
I hadn't thought of that.
Mention
So ahead, this chamber stretches some good ways. You see on the left wall there are two doors, and on the far wall ahead of you is one more door, and then there's a corner to the right, and you can't quite exactly tell what's all that about yet.
Check the first door.
after you.
Yeah.
So you approach the first door on the left, and as you come around, as you come closer to that first door, you see to your right, you kind of gain view of what is to the right, and here, what you see is a large chamber. There are two pillars that stand about shoulder height. You'll see them there, and then there's a staircase down. And let me explain a little bit more about this picture. This long chamber in front of you, you're standing on dry land, on concrete right now. The staircase terminates in a vast pool of water. This entire room ahead of you is full of water. Dark water. There appears, it's hard to tell with the dim light in here, but as you look down into the water, there's a long, rectangular, dark shape. It looks to be maybe some sort of passage down further.
And through the water?
Yeah.
Through the water. Each of these two pillars, these standing stones that you see right in front of that staircase down, each of them has a similar keyhole for the small key. And you hear something is swimming in the water.
Take out my rapier.
These
And I
pillars,
look
we have access to them.
Yes, they're standing just right in front of you. Two of them they're about 6 feet apart. Then the staircase, and then the water, all the way out to the end of that chamber.
Do we want to try to solve the problem of the water in front of us, or do we want to check out the rooms here?
Let's check out the rooms first.
Real quick? Yeah. Turn to the rooms.
So you go into the first room on the left then?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is a simple metal door with the pull handle. How do you handle it?
Wow.
I rolled a 7 on my investigation.
You don't notice any threats.
Or I open the door in case there's a trap.
There are, out of both of these doors, there do appear to be some leaves, green leaves, kind of crawling out from beneath them, and the very edges of some more plant life, kind of trying to squeeze around the gaps in the door. The foliage squeezing out is more prominent on the door on the right.
Interesting. Does it match kind of the ivy that's been growing on the walls?
Yeah, a lot of it does, and the leaves are broad, some of them, and some are small and arrow shaped, but they seem to match in color and tone the ivy that's all around there. And the ivy does crawl up and over the doorways and around. You don't see any blood vine or anything red or pus-like around.
How are plants that aren't fungus growing down here without sunlight?
Magic.
Yeah, I didn't want to say, but I was thinking the exact same thing. These must be plants from the Underdark. Most this is not you speaking. I don't know if you even knows about the Underdark. Most
You've
Underdark
probably heard about
plants-
it from the mushrooms.
Oh yeah. Most Underdark plants are.
How could there be people made
adapted.
out of trees down here? Nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
They don't have sunlight either, for that matter.
Yeah, well, obviously they don't need sunlight. Maybe they subsist on something else. I know for a fact that mushrooms don't need any sort of sunlight. Not sure about the plants with leaves, though.
Well,
And add to another point, the way that our science has evolved up to this point, we wouldn't know about photosynthesis.
no, but we would know that plants need sunlight.
We wouldn't know about what?
Photosynthesis.
Farmers and gardeners for a long time, and they knew plants do well in the sun.
I try the handle on the door on the right.
It opens slowly. The plants kind of crunch a little bit as you pull the door open. As you pull it open, there is a smell that reaches your nose.
I stop breathing.
It's like flowers, but more intensely pleasurable to breathe in.
I stop breathing. I don't
I
breathe.
feel like we should close the door.
I need you to roll a con saving throw.
Dang poop.
All of us, or just you?
Just you.
7.
You stumble back a step. Your head kind of swims a little bit. You see him swooning and like kind of losing his balance and his eyes closing, and you fall asleep in a matter of seconds.
I closed the door. I pushed.
You do shove the door closed without breathing in anything yourself. And at this point, Bu is about to fall over. You fall to the ground, and you're unconscious. About a minute passes.
Sweet. How many hit points do I regain from this short rest?
You're only unconscious for 1 minute. But you awaken and are otherwise unaffected. But your head just kind of swims a little bit, and you're unsure what happened. You wake up confused, not sure how much time has passed exactly.
Well, that was a mixed bag, if I say so.
What happened there, buddy?
Not entirely sure. Open the door and
Not for hours.
Was it hours?
Don't listen to him. I know exactly what time it is.
You're as bad as him, spoiling all my fun. You've only been out a minute or so.
Yeah. Well, interesting. Would we like to try the other door, or is it?
If we tried that fire thing again, torch, would that work on this?
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but we could try that as well.
Or if we could capture some of that pollen, that'd be handy.
Yeah.
I don't know how we do that though. Yes, let's try the other door.
I was thinking maybe like taking a grocery bag and just
Grocery bag.
What's a
Yeah.
grocery?
yeah, like the when you go to the market and you pick out
Oh.
your
Burlap sack?
Yeah, or leather.
Have any market bags with you?
Fresh out.
Let's open the other door first, I guess. Let's see what's in this one.
Mirwin had examined the other door and found nothing threatening about it.
I will open that door.
All right, the other door, you pull open again, kind of some of the foliage brushing out of the way, and within you see a bank of greenish blue glowing mushrooms that illuminate on the other side one of a small fungal tree. But other than that, there is little that you see.
There's just a little
Small fungal tree.
fungal tree.
Indeed.
I would like to take a closer look at this fungal tree.
Yeah, if you go on in, you can roll and make an
Would you?
You can make an investigation check.
I bet you would, Wareth, you dirty bird.
Okay. Anyway, you said investigation check?
Actually, you know what? Make me you go up to it and you make me a nature check.
Oh, Sadie. She just bonked her head twice on the chair trying to.
Oh, poor baby.
9.
9. You get up to this thing. It's it's a very interesting structure. It's composed of uh, about plate-sized fungal shelves that kind of grow up in almost a Christmas tree-like pattern, but they kind of twist and turn as they go up. Some of these discs larger than others. They're yellow, mostly in pigment, with some bluish dots scattered about. But you can't, with what you see, determine much of a use for it or anything really interesting beyond surface appearance.
Do I notice anything else in the room?
Just that bank of mushrooms throwing off a soft light.
I want to pick a mushroom and see if it keeps its
I was
luminescence.
just gonna do that.
Yes, you may do that. You bend down, pluck one of them, one of the larger ones, and interestingly, as you hold it up, though it is severed from its hive, its light remains.
Look,
Is it edible?
You're a dwarf.
I know this.
Roll a nature check with advantage.
If you were playing a ranger, this could be your favored. What's the terminology? Favored beast.
With advantage, that means I roll twice.
Yeah,
or
take the iron.
Yep, roll twice, take the higher.
higher. We'll see. 17.
It does from your experience with various species of mushroom. It does appear that this would be edible. You don't know how it would taste or what effect it might have, but it does not. You're fairly sure it's not poisonous or harmful in any way.
Glow.
Pop it in my mouth.
You eat that thing.
Yeah, it's edible.
Its
You, I got
flavor.
Two jacks, she starts glowing.
I was actually going to bet you the same thing.
Its flavor is interesting, light and almost slightly minty.
Light. Ha 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 ha.
Oh boy, I didn't get that.
You eat it, and you guys all kind of stand there for a minute to see what happens. There's nothing for a moment, and then the whites of her eyes start glowing a little blue, to where it kind of lights up. You Mir, when
You'll
you
need a torch.
you your dark vision seems to be amplified a little bit by this.
Ooh.
You see
Interesting.
sort of a halo around your vision, but it brightens and sharpens whatever is in the darkness.
Hey, you guys, you should try some of these shrooms.
Can you imagine the kind of pellets I would squeeze out after one of those? I worry for your stuff, Stu.
Huh?
So now that
Do you poop pellets?
Well, okay, so if you want to talk about poop composition,
Yeah, you know
reason
what?
that-
I do. I want to go there.
the reason that herbivores poop pellets is because they're herbivores and the fiber doesn't turn into like the kind of soft logs that we eat, that
Right.
not that we eat, that we poop. That's because we
I
have
don't know what you eat, buddy.
that's because we have protein in our diet. Protein specifically does that. But if you ate only only plants, no cheeses, no beans, minimal protein. If you only ate fibrous like carrots, leafy greens, stuff like that, you would have pellet poop, just like rabbits and deers and stuff like that. So it really depends on.
I would totally try that if somebody bought and made the food for me every day.
That's very interesting.
You see, the problem is that you couldn't have like salad dressing or milks.
Yeah, but how long would you have to do that just to try to see if you poop? I mean, a few days.
3 days. Yeah, 3 days total.
So
could do
Pew
that
does
for a few
not
days.
poop pellets because you do consume those other
Yeah,
things.
yeah, because such things like the nuts from thicket mix,
Right.
or the crickets or jerky or anything like that, a Bew would have pretty normal to what we know standard poop.
Well, now that that's out of the way,
So delete
That's
all
staying
of that.
in, by the way.
No, don't tell people how much I know about poop.
alrighty. So you are all standing still there in the first chamber as Mirwin's eyes begin to glow.
So since my dark vision is amplified, do I see anything else in the room?
You see dead people.
you no, you don't. That's pretty much everything that is in this
Okay.
in this chamber.
Wow, I can see the ceiling.
Take a look in the.
Is that relatively new for you, Mirwin, that you're able to see ceilings? I wasn't aware that simply being another foot or so down was going to blind you from seeing ceilings in general.
Usually so far away, it's hard to make out. It's just, a dark shape.
You should go take a look at that pool out there, see if you see anything more.
Yeah. Through your eyes, I wonder if these mushrooms would dry and keep their abilities as well. Not that I'm going to personally try that.
I
Take a few.
think it might give away my position if I ever wanted to sneak.
True. It's really nice.
You would be very creep.
Ooh. Now that's a plus. That might be cool, but I shall refrain.
If you have a cloak with a hood, you could just break it down. You can see it with the beady little eyes.
Okay, I take a few of the mushrooms and put them in my bag.
All right. Your bag begins to emanate a soft blue light.
I stuff them down further so no light in my bag.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, let's go back.
Back out of the room into the larger chamber. Now, observing the water, Mirwin, you can see with this briefly enhanced vision, the water is a little bit clearer to you. You see, it's still sort of indiscernible what the shape is, but there's something sloshing and swimming around in there. But what you do notice is that that dark rectangle that you saw before, you can see now that it is a staircase down. That if you dove in and swam down through that staircase, it would take you to some lower level.
Is this staircase also underwater then? Or
It is, yes. The whole shebang is underwater. The water you can see is maybe judging from the staircase going down into the water, maybe 6 feet down.
There's another door, isn't there?
Yes, straight on ahead, or to the if you look at the image there, you will see that those two doors you just went through are on the left wall. Straight ahead, there is another door.
So let's exhaust all possibilities before swimming and fighting is the next thing. I'd like to go over to that door and open it.
As you head up to reach for the door, you hear a sound. And Warith, I need you to make a dex saving throw.
Okay. Still putting the mushrooms in my inventory.
It's just as you walk up, you see and become aware of in the just in your peripheral, there is something that just shot out of the water and is heading toward your face.
Of course.
17.
You, as it just enters your peripheral vision, you juke and duck back out of the way, and you see a slime just smack against the wall, and kind of sizzle just a little bit,
Oh, a slime. Oh,
and it just runs down and goes away. It looks like it was some sort of like a spit,
Projectile weapon.
something some sort of spit projectile that launched from the water, from the direction of the water, and just barely missed your head.
Well, I want to now stand on the other side of the
It's so bad.
Which is where its main tactic really is, to stand on the other side of Mirwin. But
Yeah,
you
he's
open the
like
door.
a foot taller than me, so really,
Well, then
Anything that
90%
attacks-
of him will become protected.
everything that attacks will just get your head.
You
You
open the door to no consequences,
it's 3/4 cover though.
and as you what you see when you open is there is a very steep staircase downward,
Hmm.
and it is almost completely dark.
Well,
Not flooded.
Not flooded.
Maybe one of
Yeah.
maybe the keys will drain from this larger chamber and flood the staircase.
It might do that. My theory was that we need 2 keys at the same time. And since we only have one of each, we only have one big, one small. Can I remember, Mirwin, do you remember if there were 2 mismatched key shapes? Or was it like too big or too small?
On the two pillars that were in front of the staircase, there were 2 matching sized keys, 2 small keys.
too small. They were matching. They were
Yeah.
both the small one.
So I would think that the other small key is down this way.
Do you think it might be in that room that made you fall asleep? We didn't check that room.
We could check that room once more. Maybe use the torch trick and burn anything away.
And maybe put something over your face. I hear masks help with breathing bad things in.
Yeah, we could try that as well.
Oops. Oh, I sent the picture before I meant to.
I'm not looking.
Okay. Well, I mean, it doesn't. So do you
I don't know.
do you turn around and leave the door, or do you proceed?
I think we need to experiment around a little bit.
Yeah, Close.
Well, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's. I mean, since the room's here.
Yeah, might as well check.
Yeah, so we're gonna go check the first room that made me fall asleep.
Sure. So that's the second. That's that second door on the left. And as you go back to it, you kind of get a little bit of a whiff of something sweet and very nice and pleasant to the senses, and it makes you feel a little bit weird, but you don't experience any further adverse effects to it. Are you like kind of starting to cover your faces?
I'm gonna cover my face, and then I'm also gonna borrow a torch from Mirwin, and gonna try to burn it away.
As you wave the torch around, nothing appears to happen. It's not caused by any spores or anything you can see. It is completely invisible.
Well, I make sure whatever I've got over my face is some cloth, and I've tied it up, and I want to walk a little closer to see if the mask helps.
You walk a bit closer, and though you continue to get a little tinge of this scent, it does not affect you adversely. You don't fall asleep or feel tired.
Okay, then I would like to continue forward and peek in the room.
Okay. So you open the door, just peeking.
Just peeking for now.
It is pitch dark inside. And you hear no movement, no nothing.
Holding the torch over his head, giving him some light.
With the light of the torch, it pours in. And then what you see is the floor of this small chamber is covered with grass-like plants. There are ferns, even. There are vines and ivies with leaves hanging off of them, clumps of what look like bushes or even large flowers. It is a verdant arboretum in here.
Hmm. Okay.
What do you see in there?
Plants. Lots of plants.
Do you see a key?
Not yet. I open the door a little further. Stick my head in the door.
As you stick your head in, you do hear a slight swish sound, very light, as if something moving amongst the leaves, perhaps, but very soft. And then it stops. It was only for a second.
Things in here. I heard movement. I guess it could have just been the air from the door opening, but I don't know. It's gone now.
This dice rolling. Uh-oh.
All of a sudden, a tendril of some sort reaches out and grabs you around the arm that's around the door and tries to pull you in.
I take my rapier out, slice it off.
Yes, make an attack roll with disadvantage since you
Because
you
you're
were
ugly.
since you were surprised. It got the drop on you, so roll with disadvantage.
Wait a minute, though. Second roll was a 20.
You are able to, with your other hand, somehow catch your rapier and you slice this tendril off.
Yeah, by the way, I guess 16 worked, right? Because that was the lower roll. Okay.
That still
Got distracted by the
hits.
20.
You're able to slice, and your arm is free.
Was it I don't know. Was it a blood vine?
You certainly didn't see any blood vine when you looked in the room, and after cutting it off, you see no pus or remains of it, and what lays on the ground is green.
All right. I kind of pushed the door closed, and I tried to talk to them. Like, well, let's get ready for whatever's in here. You guys get ready for a fight, because I'm gonna open this door. Let's just get this over with.
Yeah, all right. Sounds good.
And I still have my rapier out, and I walk the door backwards open and stand out of the way.
So you pull the door like wide open.
Well, I walk with it backwards. I'm not standing in front of the doorway.
He
Okay,
hides behind the door.
So are you guys kind of all hiding behind the door and as it opens to see what happens?
Sure. It opens and I'm like looking in and holding the torch.
You see a couple of more tendrils shoot out and kind of grab the door, and it takes control of the door. And you peeking around, you're missed by the tendrils, but you see this kind of something open up, and inside you observe something that looks a bit like this.
Ooh.
It's like a.
From Jumanji, the big plant thing.
I'm a mean green mother from outer space, and I'm mad. Mean green mad.
So I guess I back up, but I want to stay. I want to back up so I can shoot it. Dang, but I don't want to get close to that water.
The water is around the. Well, yeah, around the corner.
Well, I guess it is. Okay, so I back up. I can shoot it with my crossbow.
All right. Roll initiative.
16.
10.
18.
Let's see. Who got the higher than 16? 18?
18.
And then Worth?
10.
You rolled, what was your roll, Worth?
16. Oh.
War
You was.
B was 16 and Worth was
10.
10. Okay. So as you head back to and knock your crossbow, despite the mask on your face, this pinkish mist comes out and you smell. All of you smell it. It just fills this chamber. And I need everybody to make Constitution saving throws.
Huzzah.
Oh, excuse me, Wisdom saving throws.
Oh. Con save because I did really good.
No,
on
let's do wisdom because I.
Sorry,
9.
it's a Wisdom save. Okay, 9.
5.
4.
Goodness.
This thing puts the fear of God into your hearts. It is absolutely terrifying. Whatever is in there, you don't want to face it. It makes you shrink back inside to where all you want to do is run into the water, even if it be necessary, to get away from this thing. You are all frightened terribly.
Can we close the door?
Next in the initiative is Mirwin. What do you do? You can't move toward the thing, but you're close enough to the door.
I'm gonna shove the door closed.
You easily slam the door. Whatever's behind there is striking. He's making you just poop bricks.
Wow.
What was that thing? I've never seen anything like that.
Possibly.
I dig in my bag and I pull out the larger of the two alchemist fire and I go,
Yes, let's do it.
y'all okay?
Mirwin, you man the door. I'll cover him with a crossbow from here.
Let's do that.
I'm gonna light the thing once we're not like pooping bricks frightened. We've composed ourselves for a second.
I've all spent about a minute or so up against the wall, just catching your breath and waiting for your heart rates to slow down.
I take a swig of my flask. I still have that flask, right? I didn't sell it.
Probably.
You still got it. All right, who's opening the door?
I think was it you, Mirwin?
All right, Mirwin, you get behind the door. Worth, you're as you stand with your crossbow and Bu, you get ready. Mirwin opens the door. Go ahead and make a ranged attack.
Excuse me. Plus my dex would be, what is my dex? 16.
You're a large alchemist's fire. Deftly flies through the crack in the door, and shatters inside. And you see this violent flame go up, and a hissing sound. And you observe this massive plant kind of crinkle and shrivel up, and it shrinks and pulls back into itself, and many leaves and vines come to cover it, and those light on they begin to catch fire, and it lasts for a couple of minutes. It's while branches and leaves and moss burn off and begin to regenerate, but just a bit, as this alchemist fire is so potent, and it is subdued.
Woo. Are we no longer frightened?
You're no longer frightened.
Has it?
Alchemist fire.
Yeah, yeah. I still have one more of those. Wareth, go poke it with your scythe a whole bunch. Just go poke it with your rapier until it is a salad.
I'll go up to it very cautiously and poke it.
It's you don't see the you don't see the main part of it anymore. That red part. It's shrunken back in, and there's a lot of what I'm trying to scorching and charred plants around here. You kind of stab it with the rapier, poke it a bit. There's no reaction or anything like that. Yeah, there's no real reaction at all from it.
Okay. You two, search the room real fast. I'll keep an eye on this thing, and if it starts to come back out of its shell, we will run, and I will let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, make investigation rolls.
I'm
whoever
watching
it
this
is.
thing closely.
You are watching that thing closely, and if it tries to pull any funny business, you'll know. And the other two, as you search the room, make investigation checks.
21.
19.
Very good. What else do you find in this room? There are a lot of plants, obviously, and you search through them. There are no more of these deadly plants, but you find a couple. You find buried under some things. You find a couple more mushrooms. These ones are slightly different, though. They're orange, and their glow is a bit dimmer. But you find them. There's about 6 of them.
I'll take them and put them in my bag.
Yes, and again, same as before, they continue to glow.
We'll investigate these after we're out of this room.
Yes, I would like to not be in here anymore.
Do we find anything else?
That's all you see for now. And however, you hear a shuffling beneath the cover of leaves and vines and branches.
Yeah, it's time to go. This
We
thing
run
is
out.
waking
I
up.
run out.
You all get the heck out of Dodge and slam the door behind you.
All that, and we didn't find it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we've learned that Satan is real and he's right there.
If there's a devil, he's
Apparently,
in that room.
Alchemist fire doesn't completely kill it.
Yeah, that was pretty messed up, wasn't it?
Oh, the devil lives in fire all the time anyway. So, I want to investigate these mushrooms now.